Sam, a father in his 60s, suddenly received a phone call. At that moment, he froze. The voice on the other end delivered the news that his son Mike had unexpectedly passed away in France. Sam left his friends at the gathering and flew alone to France, 8,000 kilometers away. The small town in southern France was eerily quiet, not at all like a place where a tragedy would occur. It wasn't until he truly stood at the door of that cold morgue, until he saw his son's body with his own eyes, that his world completely collapsed. What did it feel like? It was as if his soul had been hollowed out, making even breathing difficult. A father in his 60s, standing there helplessly, the white-haired sending off the black-haired. The tearing sensation in his heart was beyond description. Sam was stunned. He couldn't understand why Mike was alone, having died in this distant foreign land. His son had always been steady and rational, not the type to act impulsively. The police chief quietly took a passport out of his bag and handed it to him. It turned out that Mike had come to walk the Camino de Santiago, an arduous 800-kilometer hiking route known as the Path to the Soul and one of the world's 3 major pilgrimage sites. Usually, when people complete the entire route, their passports are filled with stamps, each representing a town, an experience, a story. But Mike's passport had almost no marks, indicating that he had just begun this journey when he met with misfortune. That night, Sam flipped through Mike's belongings and found a few photos that Mike had taken of himself along the way. Some were of the scenery, some of passers-by, and others were selfies of him smiling brightly. Looking at these photos, Sam's eyes welled up with tears. He suddenly remembered that on the day Mike left, he had personally driven him to the airport. Mike had invited his father to put aside his work and walk part of the journey with him, not for faith, but as a father-son adventure. But Sam had firmly refused, even with a hint of impatience. He had never truly understood why Mike wanted to walk this path, but out of love for his son, he decided to complete the journey on Mike's behalf. Not for faith, not for atonement, but because he was finally willing to listen to his son's heart. He cremated Mike with his own hands. That brilliant youth had now turned into a handful of fine ashes, which he carefully placed into a metal box. He put on Mike's blue travel backpack and retraced that pilgrimage route, becoming a pilgrim and Mike's stand-in, embarking on this unfinished path. Each step was heavy, as if measuring with his feet the long-neglected emotions between father and son. Sam may not have believed in God, but he began to believe that if certain paths weren't walked to the end, there would always be a hole in one's heart. Mike's world was not about escape but exploration, freedom, and the process of finding meaning.